Good evening, parents and students of the Muroc Joint Unified School District. My name is Kevin Cordes. I am the district superintendent, and this evening we are filming from the new Bailey Elementary School office. At the end of this video, we're also going to have a little walkthrough of the school campus for those that are interested in seeing it. And I would just like to thank everyone for the time that they took in filling out our survey this past week. We had more responses than we have had in any other week, and we appreciate you taking the time to do that and for the remarks that you left with us. Now, children coming back to school and anything that has to do with our children as parents is a very sensitive topic. And what we heard back from you was everything from, please don't reopen schools, I'm concerned about it, I don't want my children to come back, especially during flu season, I'm unsure of the conditions, I'm unsure of health conditions in the world, all the way to why aren't you open? Other people are open throughout the country or the world or in other places in the state, and why aren't you open and when will you be open? And then everyone that falls in between those two. Just as a reminder, we do not have the authority in and of ourselves to just declare that school will open. We do have to work through state mandates, and we monitor everything very closely, but as we discussed last week, the state of California, every county in the state, actually falls into one of 4 bands. The most restrictive band is the purple band, and that's where Kern County currently sits. After 14 days of appropriate COVID data, the county can move into the red category, into the red band. Once in the red band, businesses in that county can come open, and other establishments, other industries can begin to open and fire up business. But schools are supposed to wait an additional 14 days. If the data holds well and if COVID-19 cases stay down, then after that 28th day, school districts may, after a series of other things that need to take place, such as contract negotiations, board resolutions, health plans that need to be put in place, some of this which has been done already, but after several different steps, then a school district may make a declaration that they wish to kind of plant their flag and have the ability to open in whatever capacity that they feel. Now, many of you are wondering, what is the rest of the school year going to look like? Are we going to stay in remote learning? When will we open, if we're going to open? As a dad, I'll tell you, I have the exact same questions, and that's a big reason that we monitor this. We're all parents. The other is, for your sake and for your children's sake, we keep a very close eye on this as well. What I would say to you is, I would expect that starting the second quarter, we will be in remote learning. Now, it may not fall in a natural break at a quarter or at a semester. And I don't necessarily see that we would all come back in a conventional manner or even a hybrid manner, all at the same time, grades transitional kindergarten through 12th grade. But what we could see, and what I do see happening in the future, is we will reach a point where we feel that it is safe and appropriate, following the guidelines and having permissions from the state and the county and the state health officials and county health office, to be able to start bringing students back who are at the highest need. Those in special education, those would be students, after that would be students who are small. So our kindergarten students, first grade, second grade. And it would be in this manner that we slowly start to bring students back, and we practice our procedures and our policies, and we make sure that we're getting students and staff onto school safely. The timeline for that I can't necessarily give anyone right now, but you will see over the next few weeks that different school districts may make declarations saying that they are going to come open, that they're going to open schools. What that means is school districts have the opportunity to open when the state allows us to. We get to decide what that looks like, whether it's in a staged fashion, which is what we will take ultimately, or if it's all at once. And as a school district that serves students in transitional kindergarten through 12th grade, we want to wait for a time whenever we can begin to bring students back across the district. So as we stand right now, I would say to a mom and a dad who's wondering, what is it going to look like come October 10th when the second quarter starts? Plan for it to be just like it was today. Just know that we are doing everything that we can to safely bring students back onto campus. We're not rushing into it, but we are also not dragging our feet on it. We don't want to be the very first people, but we also don't want to be the very last. We want to do it in a controlled and careful environment. Now, also, once we come back, what will happen is we will decouple ourselves from the state data, or the county data, I should say. So, let's just say that we're in the purple band for 14 good days, and then we go into the red band for an additional 14 good days. After that 28th day, on day 29, we come back to school. Students begin to at least have the ability to start coming back. I have said in the past that if there's a day where the data doesn't meet the needs of the state, that we would go back to purple. I was incorrect when I've said that before. With further clarification from the state, we have now learned that it is 2 weeks of consecutive data where the COVID-19 cases are increasing, something along those lines, that the county could go back into the purple band. When the county goes back into the purple band, then businesses would reclose, other industries would be affected. But technically speaking, schools, because they have decoupled themselves by reopening from the county data, we would use our own internal data. We'd use current local conditions to determine if we could continue with school or not. Now, in addition to that, once we come back, there is a lot of work to do. There are plans that we have to have in place. There are protocols that we must follow. There's things such as temperature checking, asking you as parents not to send your children to school if they show any kind of signs or symptoms of COVID-19. We would track health, and also at the same time, while we keep everyone's data confidential and secure, if there was a positive case that came about in the school, then we would do contact tracing. We would notify staff and students and parents. And there is just an incredible amount of work. You are going to see that throughout Kern County, there are 2 school districts that I'm aware of that have filed for a waiver for some of their students to start coming back. But out of the over 40 school districts in Kern County, those are the only districts that are currently open. Many other counties throughout California are in the purple band and are in a similar situation. We put out this survey this week, and we wanted to get your input. It didn't necessarily mean that we were ready to pull the trigger and start bringing kids back, but before we start making hard decisions, these more final decisions, we wanted to hear from you, and we wanted to know what you wanted. And so we're going to bring up now a slide and show you the results of some of the questions that we asked you. First of all, we asked parents, given what is currently known about the COVID-19 pandemic, would you feel comfortable sending your student or students to school for in-person instruction under current health department guidelines? As you can see, 52.3% of you reported back that yes, you would feel comfortable sending your students, while 29.7% said no, and 18% of you were not sure. When we got to the next question, we asked about if the district began to offer in-person instruction following health department guidelines, would you send your students to school? We saw a slight increase in the yes answer, a slight decrease in both the no and the I'm not sure, and we offered a 4th category for this question, and it was for those parents who, for their own personal sake in their households, they may have reasons that they would not send their students, but they would be interested in doing so otherwise. And so as we've learned from your input, what you would like to see is a little over 50% of you are comfortable, but at this time, we don't have a definitive answer from the parents that they would like to go one way or the other. It sounds a lot like the nation as a whole. So again, we'd like to thank you as parents for taking the time to fill out this survey. This was very important information, very good data for us. We will be pulling these questions off the survey in this upcoming week, but in a few weeks we'll bring them back up again, and we'll do so periodically until we are starting to come back to school. And once we're back in school, we'll, I'm sure, have some other questions that we'll be asking you as well. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Trevor Walker for some updates related to food service and technology and some other things throughout the district. We'll show you a video and give you a tour of the new Bailey Elementary School, and then I'll have a few closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. I want to touch on 4 quick topics this week. The first is we are still serving food, and we're serving food at Boron High School, West Boron Elementary, the district office at Adult Education, and then on base at Desert High School. The pickup time is between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., so come on by. You can get lunch for the current day and breakfast for the following day. The next thing I want to remind everyone to please fill out your free and reduced applications. Those are integral for the district. It's important reporting. It's something the state really wants us to get good, complete data on. This year we have a lot of families that have yet to fill it out, and we want to make sure that for those that do qualify, you don't miss out. So please, you can either go online, and we have an electronic application this year, so you can just go on, you fill it out. It's real nice and easy. You can do it from your phone, from a computer. If you would like a paper copy, you can either print one out from the website or go to the school site or the district office and get a copy. You can fill it out and drop it off, again, at any school site or at the district office. Next thing I want to touch on is internet. At this point, the first batch of people who were qualified for the Spectrum modem have received it. If you did not get it, that does not necessarily mean you won't qualify, but what happened is we got that first list into them back in July. And we did that because we knew there would be a large backlog and there would be a huge queue to get that. We are still submitting, but those newer batches of individuals who qualify we submitted have not started to get the modem shipped out because a lot of other districts came online, started school, and they also are part of that program, and they went in, and those families are now getting served. So please, if you are struggling with internet, reach out to your teacher so we can try and work with you. I've helped a few people this last week. Families have reached out to the school sites, and then they forward it to me, and I was able to help diagnose some internet issues. So please reach out. We absolutely want to help you, and we will continue to monitor and apply for families who do qualify. One thing I do want to touch on is the qualifications. Free and reduced status is merely the first step in qualification. So just because you are free and reduced does not mean you will qualify for the free internet. Sadly, it looks like a couple families this last couple weeks, they've actually disconnected their service. Because of that, and because they already were part of certain programs, they are still ineligible for our internet, which means they're now going to have to go back through whatever application process they did to qualify for the original program, and we're not able to provide it. And that's outside of our hands. It's part of the special program that is being used to fund this. So please, 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 if you already have internet and it's stable and reliable, just keep using that. This is really for those households that did not have connectivity, that were in free and reduced and needed the support. The last thing I want to touch on is we have impact aid cards coming up this year. This is something we do every year for those who are new to the district. For those of you who have been around, you're quite familiar. This year, you're going to be getting a yellow card. We are going to be mailing those to households, and in that envelope will be the impact aid card as well as an envelope with postage on it to send it back to us. So please go ahead and fill it out. Those are going to need to be dated, the date we put on there. We'll have a little instructions on how to fill it out. Go ahead and date it, and I believe that will be October 7th this year. So please fill those out, throw them right back in. They're already a postage paid. Send it right back out to us. We need to make sure we get all those. It is a critical source of funding for this district, the impact aid, and without it, we would really struggle. Next, we're going to cut to some footage we showed. We're going to walk through the campus, and you'll get to see Bailey Elementary.
Good afternoon, parents and students of the Muroc Joint Unified School District. My name is Kevin Cordes. I'm the district superintendent, and as we discussed last week, starting over the next couple of weeks, we're going to showcase our different school sites, especially those that are under construction. Today, we're going to show you Bailey Elementary School. Come with me. Bailey Elementary is intended to serve students in transitional kindergarten through 3rd grade. This is the brand new office area. It's located in the middle of the complex that we have for students in TK through 12th grade. Parents will be able to park and walk up to this office area and check their students in or out. This office has ample area for teachers to use as a workroom, copy rooms, a dedicated nursing area, and office staff for school administration. It also serves to connect the bigger campus with Bailey itself. And so as we come outside, we'll see how as you come through the office, you walk right out into the central area of the school. Students in grades 1st through 3rd will be in these wings. And we're now going to take you to where kindergarten students and some special education students will be housed. This is all brand new construction as well. This area here will serve students in kindergarten and some special education. And kindergarten students will actually have their own playground equipment that is tailored to their size and their interests. Construction for this school was provided through a DODEA project through the Department of Defense. 80% of the funding was derived from Department of Defense with a 20% match from the district using state matching funds. We are grateful to be able to open the school soon for students as soon as we're able to come back to in-class instruction. The school will be able to be operational come January 1st, 2021. And now we're going to come into a classroom. This is a new kindergarten classroom. All classrooms are air conditioned and have their own dedicated heating. Kindergarten classrooms have their own bathrooms as well. And in these newer classrooms, teachers are paired together and have a shared workspace. This is an area where teachers can store extra materials that they may have for students and stay connected with one another. These classrooms have both some carpeted space and some tile floor space and plenty of square footage. And now we're going to take a look at what will be offered for students in grades 1st grade through 3rd grade. As you can see, we've added some new playground equipment for the students with shade structures included, and we've also renovated all of the classrooms that were here previously. Now we're going to take a look at the classrooms that are available for students in 1st through 3rd grades. On this side of the campus, we have replaced all of the handrails, the concrete, the stucco, lighting, everything has been redone on the outside. We've also redone all of the inside of the classrooms. Come on inside. These classrooms have all new cabinetry, flooring, wall surfaces, new ceilings, lighting. Everything in these classrooms has been redone and revamped and are ready for students to come back. So again, Bailey Elementary School will be ready for students to come back in January of 2021. We look forward to the time when we can use these buildings with students. Thank you for coming on this tour with us today. Well, we hope that you enjoyed that small tour of the new Bailey Elementary School. We're excited for the school to reach its completion in construction and are grateful for all of those who have participated in making this dream a reality for all of us. Now, just a reminder, today we've talked about some big steps for the school district moving forward, but the things that we've talked about today are steps that are multiple steps away from where we're at currently. Where if we were on step 3, we've been talking about things that are step 11 or 12. There's a number of things that will need to happen prior to students coming back onto campus. Every day we work towards that goal. We know that students thrive and do best in an educational environment where they are with their peers and they're with their teachers. And so we balance that with their utmost safety. And as we reach out to you and we reach out to the staff and we ask for feedback on this, we really appreciate that you take the time to do so. We never want to make a decision in a vacuum. And your input is invaluable to us to understand the pulse of the community, what you and your families need. And just to reiterate, I saw comments that ranged from, I don't know if I can do this anymore, to we are thriving in this and I don't know if I ever want to leave it. And there's a variety in between. And so thank you for your patience. Thank you as you understand that a lot of these decisions are really out of our hands, but we work every day tirelessly to bring the best educational opportunity and experiences for your children. We do all that we can to support your family. We understand that this is not easy. We understand that this is not ideal. And as a father of 3 students that are in the school district with twins that are seniors this year, who have now going to miss out on their first quarter of their senior experience, this really hits home for us and our family. Thank you for all that you do. We hope that you have a wonderful and safe weekend. We'll speak with you again next week and give you another update on where we are at and the state of the district, and as far as we understand it, the state of Kern County and the state of California when it comes to education and children. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.